Hey, welcome to Conquer and Hold. We are starting off with Game 2 here. Game 1 did go to the Victor deck. Our audio was off for Game 1, so we're just going to start here with the second match.
I did not get a metal card at what is it called at the thing.
The
I
skirmish.
just won a summoner skirmish, so I won a round one buy at Atlanta, and I won like a bunch of store credit and stuff like that. But it was real cool. That's the awesome part about Vegas. If you are here in Las Vegas, we literally have locals every single day with 16 plus players. We got a lot of awesome plays to happen. But it is going to be game two for Cameron versus Allen. Allen is up with a Victor deck. I wonder what he's going to use. Probably, if it is my Victor deck, he's probably going to use Vile Maw's Lair to try to counter this purple strategy of Cameron. But I do know that Allen's battlefields are both kind of anti-meta. He has Vile's Maw and he has Void Gate. I wonder what Cameron is going to use here. Honestly, the thing about Riftbound is I, I I like to say that if you are using a positive battlefield, that you are up in the matchup right now. And Cameron didn't win the game with Zon Warrens. And Zon Warrens is one of the most powerful battlefields you can. So I'm really interested in how Cameron is going to win this game. And ooh, we have here Treferian Warcamp. Treferian Warcamp is really good in these Miracle decks because you're able to go wide, but more importantly, because you go wide, you get more buffs because of this Treferian Warcamp. And Vile Lair for Allen. If you don't know what Vile Lair does, it basically makes it to where neither player can go from here to the battlefield. So you can't retreat. You can't use stuff like Fight or Flight or Overzealous Fans.
Honestly, I think Lair is probably the best battlefield in the whole game. It's just if your deck could play Lair and it doesn't really matter because you put like a recruiter or sand soldier in there, you don't care if it dies. It like hinders some strategies. And when you're pushing into mid-range Draven, you don't have to worry about their fan. You have to worry about fight or flight. You can just go into your own Valmaz Lair, let them take it, control the other one, and you don't have to worry about their battle trick. So it is definitely, I think, one of the at least top 3, top 5 battlefields.
Yep, and it's really, really good if you want to go wide. But Allen missing an early game here. If he, honestly, the best part about being Victor going second is you can go token plus a 2-drop. Allen not doing that, but Allen probably has a lot of removal in his hand. But Cameron using stack deck to look for the top 3 cards here, trying to figure out what he is going to add to his hand. The Miracle deck often is a goldfish deck, meaning they play by themselves just a little bit. They kind of set it up, and then eventually they get to pop off here. Cameron wants to stem the bleeding here by applying as much pressure as possible and setting up these big turns. And double stack deck, being able to look at his hand. The cool thing about Cameron's deck is it's not a normal Miracle Draven deck. It is a Miracle Annie deck. So even though he is going to tap out, most likely he will have 2 mana up for interaction on his opponent's turn. And playing a Traveling Merchant and is able to untap because of the Annie. So a very strong turn here for Cameron. Wish he can go wider here, but Allen also not having the most explosive start here. So it is going to be 5 mana for Allen with 1 token being able to move up. So 1 point almost guaranteed secured unless Cameron has some type of interaction. Ooh, it's probably going to be a summon of a Jin Zhao maybe because he summoned that preemptively. But let's figure this out here. Makes a token. That's my favorite part about this Victor deck is even if you don't draw that good and you can't make the most of your mana, if you're just able to just tap that button every turn and summon your little paladin token, you're mad chilling with this Victor deck.
Bro, I was just about to say your paladin.
Yeah, no, paladin is one of my favorite classes in Hearthstone, so that's why I really vibe with the Victor deck.
Yeah, I was with paladin and warlock were my 2.
Boo, Warlock. And the Traveling Merchant being able to discard a card, more importantly, discarding this scrap heap, running up into the Treferian Warcamp 3-2. Let's see what Allen has here. He has a Stupefy, making it go down to 2-2, offering up this trade. Here's the thing, and I keep saying it, that that this Annie deck gets to abuse the fact that it gets 2 mana every single turn, but not being able to draw cards off combats is huge. And here we go, one of the most scariest cards for a Viktor deck is this Ferris Forerunner, a 6 mana, 1 power, 6 might card that just basically gives the red deck so much follow up. It is a huge problem for this Viktor deck because you have to kill it basically 3 times. Every single part of its body is a threat. It's the 3 might units of the mechs plus the 6 might of itself. So Alan definitely needs to think about his turns here. But here's the thing, because Ferris Forerunner doesn't have the effect of when I kill something, draw a card that the Draven deck has. It is not as formidable in this Annie deck. It is still annoying, but it's not this ever looming threat like it is in this Draven deck, potentially drawing 3 cards.
As a Victor main, how do you deal with Forerunner? Do you like shotgun the Riptide Rex now to try to get rid of it?
Um,
Break it up early?
Oftentimes, games 2 and 3, I try to keep Watcher in my hand because Watcher is one of the best answers to a Ferris Forerunner because you summon a Watcher unaccelerated. Oftentimes, you can clear the board with a Ferris Forerunner, and then now the unaccelerated Watcher keeps in check the tokens. So they'll still be able to get a bunch of points, but you just want to make sure that they don't run the game over with this Ferris Forerunner.
Oh, true. You can also kill the Forerunner, accelerate him in. The 2 tokens. Oh, actually, I guess you can kill it. 2 tokens die. You summon the Watcher, then Bellows.
And
which
then
is
Bellows,
cool.
yeah. Watcher is a very important card, specifically game 2 and 3 because of Ferris Forerunner. Being able to just challenge the 6 might unit, plus also having the ability to mess with the tokens in the backfield, it's a very strong card here. It's one of the few things you have to think about when you play this Viktor deck is to beat something like a Ferris Forerunner or these other really sticky minions.
Opting to take it out now.
And I don't mind this with being able to get rid of a what is it called? Getting rid of the honest broker, but getting a token from this Viktor ability here.
That was such a good play because you're going to lose one of those minions anyway. But now you took it out. They don't have anything to interact with that. But you have 2 recruits next turn so that when you use your removal spells, you're semi-guaranteed to get those 2 follow-up points.
Yeah, what I really like about this is the Viktor champion unit is able to check over one of these tokens. So you can do something like move the Viktor, kill one of the tokens, and now Cameron is going to develop his boards. So something like a Singularity will have a huge impact on this game. Ooh, and another Ferris Forerunner coming out for Cameron here. Honestly, it is one of the scariest cards because he has to do so much to get rid of it. But honestly, Alan has a lot of options here. So let's see what he does. Always forgetting this A, B, C, D part. A for Awaken. Always remember your alphabet. A, B, C, D. It's super important. But let's see what Alan does here with a lot of mana up. I believe he has 7. Let's see what he can do here. Even now, something like an unaccelerated Watcher would be strong here, being able to kill both tokens and overtake both battlefields here. But I see him hovering the Singularity. I do like the Singularity. It is very strong in the sense of that it gets to kill off the Ferris Forerunner up front. I can see here that Alan has 2 salvages. I'm not a big fan of salvage I'm a big fan of salvage, but not necessarily for this Annie Miracle deck in the sense that you can kind of side it versus the Draven deck.
This is just a little bit scary because we know he main decks 2 negates at least and probably 1 in the side deck because of the matchup here.
Oh, and both are off here. And that is a great thing for Alan. Alan just wants to continually click up this clock of 2, 2, 2, 2.
Yeah, right here, I definitely don't mind not killing the Forerunner in the back because we killed the 2 in the front and we're going to get point, and then he can only stop one of the people, and we can try to kill the Forerunner next turn.
Yep. And that's one of the game plans here. You have to ask yourself, are you going to play the game of trying to play with this Forerunner fairly where you're trying to use your removal spells, or are you going to tempo out the Forerunner where every single turn you're just trying to push him off Who cares if they get their tokens, but you're continually scoring 2 points. That's the thing with this Victor deck here. Oftentimes, this Victor deck is seen as this control deck because you're killing so much. But this Victor deck, the way I see it, is really just an aggro tempo deck where every turn you have a guaranteed a 2-point swing, and you're using your removal as a way to clear the board as much as possible, not necessarily to make your opponent have no creatures at all. And this is what I'm saying here, that normally Fair's Forerunner is a house of a card, but not being able to draw cards from this from this any unit ability, it could potentially be one of the downfalls for Cameron here. I think in the mirror, the Annie deck is very strong because you always just have ways to fight your opponent. But
Into Draven?
Yeah, into Draven, yeah. When
I
I
think
say mirror, I don't mean a Draven mirror. I mean necessarily a miracle mirror.
Yeah, I think Draven is probably stronger into Victor than Annie is, just because you're getting draws off killing little tokens. But you're right. The verse Annie Draven, I feel like Annie has a little bit of a slight edge because she gets to fight a lot with her 2 mana.
And here we go. Get to go to 6. That is the pivotal point here. Now it kind of doesn't matter about card advantage. What matters is Alan able to score these last 2 points. Cameron is at 3, so he has like almost a 2-turn threshold to try to still win this game here.
I don't even necessarily, not even trying to kill the Forerunner this turn, but just
set up the
back
biggest
my recruit, make the board like Ed was going to say there, and just kind of get ready for the double points. As we've been playing, I think holding is much harder in these smaller token style decks and just going 2, 2, 2, 2 and going up to 8, because it's so easy for you just to lose the recruit. You can just move the recruit. Oh, it's in the Valmaw though. But if it wasn't in the lair, you can just move the recruit back. Also, you don't care if it dies though, but you can just move the recruit back and get ready for next turn, which it looks like we're going to do. We're going to draw Electring Yordle. Sometimes Electring Yordle is cut from these decks, but it's just a little tiny guy that gives you a draw to help you see more of your deck.
Yeah, I am a big fan of playing Lecturing Yordle. If y'all don't know, Alan is actually using my deck, so I'm praying he wins, so it makes it look good. But I'm a big fan of Lecturing Yordle because it's good early game, good late game, good no matter what. Sure, it might not be the most mana-efficient creature where you get 3, but Victor is always this deck where you can kind of find ways to just thread in a, what is it called, a Lecturing Yordle plus a token. Just want to say thank you to all 30 of our watchers right now. Appreciate you. If you like what you see, this is our Nexus Nights. We stream every 6:30 here at the People's Card Shop, and we upload VODs all the time on Conquer and Hold. So if you like what you see, just come and check it out. But right now, Alan is in the tank. He is trying to figure out how he can set up game next turn. And here it is. Cameron is going to go to 4. If I was Cameron, I'm trying to get to 6 as fast as possible here. Did he hold off of did he hold to 4, or did he is he going to 5 right now? Cameron's really good, so I'm pretty sure Cameron knows where he's at. And using here the Treasure Trove plus a seal, that's a little cool combo here that lets you kind of get extra mana out using the seal.
Another good thing about this Annie deck that's probably not going to be shown this game is the use a card Detonate. It is 1 mana, kill a gear, draw 2 cards. You can use it on your own stuff, which is why it's really helpful with the, if you put down the scrap heap, you draw a card and you pop it and you draw 2 and then you draw 1 off the scrap heap. But it's super good into the Draven matchup because you just get to pop their spinning axes and it literally comes out of nowhere, and it's very shocking in that matchup. A 1 mana, basically kill any weapon you want. Because you can kill their weapon, you can kill your own weapon. It's a very interesting card in this deck, but it doesn't really work that well against the Victor deck because they don't have that many gears. Some of the Victor decks run 1 Vanguard Armory in the main, just in a game 1. You put it down and sometimes it just wins you the game if your opponent does not have any gear hate at all. But most of them don't even run that, so it just depends.
Cameron is trying to basically make it to where Alan can't resolve something like an Imperial Decree, because at this point, Imperial Decree is a broken card right now, being able to just trade up and use these 1/1 tokens or even this Lecturing Yordle to kill stuff. But that's the thing. What's more important is the Imperial Decree here, because if Alan sets up enough tokens, Imperial Decree can force it out. Bellows Breath obviously is a very powerful card, but if you have enough tokens, you can push through a big stack battlefield here.
I think we might have to move up those Ezreals. I know that you want the Ezes in the back, but this might be the final turn. Every single one is one. It trades with 1 unit for decree. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 5 in the back, and we have 5 at our battlefields.
Also, importantly, Cameron is holding at a battlefield right now. It's the Vile Maw's lair. So those Rosses are stuck there right now currently. So we have to remember that. And Alan going to a huge amount of mana right now. I believe it is going to 10. 10 is such a powerful turn here for Viktor, being able to just play multiple power spells and cards all in one turn.
Imperial Bellows Breath is...
It takes a real champion to use that combo. Only the smartest, only the smartest players get to use Imperial Decree plus Bellows Breath.
It's really hard. It's pretty hard to do.
But how is Alan going to... Dang, Alan has a book in his hand. But what is he going to do
He hasn't really played that many cards. All the cards he played has replaced himself, like double Stupefy, double Lecturing Yordle, and he's just been going off like recruits. So he just has so many cards. And like Ed was saying at the beginning, even if you don't draw like things to do, you have them for later. Just make the guys.
So I think Alan is trying to set up, is not trying to win this turn because...
there is no rush.
There is no rush because Cameron
agree.
is only at 5.
You just make as many guys possible again, and then hopefully have the mana to Imperial Decree and then pay for both of the hard bargains.
Yep. And on turns like these, you kind of want to just set up as many units as possible, because if you just set up a big Imperial Decree with a bunch of units, it doesn't matter how big your opponent's board is. We can see here double Salvage, double Hidden Blade. Hidden Blade is going to be very important in this matchup because it basically gets to clear off units. And again, this is what I'm saying here, is one of the benefits of this Draven deck is you can't do this. You can't run dudes up and expect to trade because Draven will eventually draw too many cards here.
What a smart play, though. He attacked him with the 2 Lecturing Yordles. Seems like it's not that good of a play because the Imperial Decree lets them be one-shots later, but they trade out. They tag out for recruits because of the Viktor champion unit. So he traded the 2 Lecturing Yordles for 1 card, but he got 2 more recruits in the back line, which will trade for 1 full creature in the next turn when we do our Imperial Order.
Yeah, there's...
Is Imperial Order a Decree? I always...
Decree.
It's Decree? I literally always...
Order is one of the most egregious Yu-Gi-Oh cards ever, but Imperial Decree is also one of the most egregious cards ever created. But let's see how Alan does it here. The thing about at least the way I play this Viktor deck is I want to tap out every single turn because I want to make something like Hard Bargain kind of dead because they're going to keep up mana for Hard Bargain, and I just develop like 7 might every single turn. And then eventually, because I have not deramped myself, I can set up a turn where I can Imperial Decree around something annoying like Hard Bargain. But let's see.
Yeah, while like Grand Stratagem is a really cool card, Imperial Order or Imperial Decree is just it does the same thing, but it's more versatile because you can use it with Bellows. We see he does have the Bellows in his hand. He was thinking about if he wanted to maybe use it in the back right now. Maybe he has 2 in his hand to kill those Ezreals, but he is keeping them for the next turn.
Honestly, if I was Cameron, if I had something like Mind Splitter here, it would go absolutely crazy because oftentimes this blue-yellow deck hides behind a huge hand and a big field and kind of like saves up for 1 big turn with 1 powerful card. And something like a Mind Splitter here would be absolutely absurd because it's an extra 7 might to the board, plus gets to look at Alan's hand. But let's see here. He is developing a Seal of Discord, and this is it. This is going to be the final turn here, most likely. He is trying to set up the biggest possible board here as possible. I can see a Rasa in Cameron's hand.
If we hold one battlefield, we do win, but can we hold? Do we have enough?
Another Rasa out here. Just as a reminder, Cameron has two Ezreals out here, and the way Ezreal works is it can get multiple discounts on stuff. But ooh, a Morbid Return. That is a interesting card to add back something like a Noxus Hopeful. What matters is here is Cameron is just trying to set up the fattest board amount as possible.
You got to remember that might doesn't matter. The amount matters. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 8 people who one-shot. So that means you have to have at least 7 people because he needs to be able to kill everyone with his people and then go in for 1, 2. So he has 6 people that could trade and 2 people that need to conquer. But remember, there are Watchers and there is a Xin Zhao in the deck. You really can't Pure Decree and Watcher, but you can Pure Decree and play Xin Zhao in a turn. So it might throw the numbers off. I think having the Ezreals here in the back might be the downfall.
And having 12 mana is so much for Allen here because now he can fend off something like a hard bargain and still be able to cast the Imperial Decree. But we can see here he does not have an Imperial Decree. Being able to salvage to try to draw a card, but let's see what he has here.
What do you think, Ed? Do you think I think those Ezreals needed to be in the battlefield.
I think they should have, but the thing that I really noticed from Allen's side is he's had a Hidden Blade for a long time here. Oftentimes, I find finding a way to use a Hidden Blade even on your own cards to try to draw it out, because we've noticed here he is really hurting for something like Imperial Decree. He basically needs that card, or like a Thousand Tail Watcher. So he could have used that Hidden Blade to try to draw 2 much earlier in this turn. But let's see what he has here. And it's going to be Hidden Blade now.
On his own guy.
On his own guy. See, that's what I was saying, that he could have just used it way earlier to save up mana last turn. Or a turn before that.
Sure, we could have made this play last turn to try to draw.
Here's a Call of the Week. I can see, I believe, a Call of the Week and another Hidden Blade. Okay, so he has that much mana up. I don't know if he can clear it here.
Call of the Week, Hidden Blade. Yeah. It's really hard with Imperial Decree. Some of the older, more aggro Viktor decks running Imperial Decree and Grand Stratagem. But Cameron showing he did have the 2 hard bargains in his hand. That's why he opted to keep the Ezreals in the back, because he wanted to make sure that no matter what happened, Allen couldn't just shove his minions in there and just kill the Ezreals and then Decree and make sure that Cameron had to use a lot of mana. He wanted to make sure those Ezreals were safe in the back so that we could use 2 mana on each of them for the full hard bargain and still have 1 mana left open.
Yeah, and that's the thing about that is sometimes this Viktor deck is really reliant on his draws, and that doesn't sound necessarily like a good deck, but what often happens is it's overloaded with these very powerful like double power cards, and you use these Viktor tokens to kind of like get an early game against whatever's happening, and you use these powerful cards later in the game. The issue is sometimes these power cards, you need specific ones, and in that moment, Allen needed Imperial Decree, and it's like I said, we saw that Allen had Hidden Blade and a plethora of creatures. He could have used that Hidden Blade much earlier in the game to try to smooth out his draws and try to draw into better. But also we saw here, Allen had multiple copies of Salvage. Normally when I play against these Miracle decks, I actually side out my other copy of Salvage if they're not playing something like a Draven, because the salvages are so good because they can hit something like a Spinning Axe, but hitting something like a CL Shore, it's good because it kind of beats them out in the grind game. But against these Miracle decks, you are the aggressor. You're not trying to it's not like Ezreal, where if you kill every Seals, Ezreal kind of like peters out. But then against them, you're just trying to just slam as much points down their throat as possible. But let's see, it's going to be game 3. Cameron gets to go second here. Allen gets to go first. He gets to apply the pressure. He gets to have a lot of stuff. But here's the issue here. I felt like Allen's best shot was last game because he had Vile Mausoleer, a card that is so good against Cameron Strat. But a Obelisk of Power for Cameron and a Void Gate for Alan. So both players get to start off with an extra rune channeled.
Alan being able to do token 1/2 drop is so strong.
Yeah, very, very strong. Let's see here. I don't believe I saw a 2-drop in Alan's hand. I did see a Pickpocket, one of the best cards against these Miracle decks because it lets you get up on them. But, of course, he's never going to miss his turn 1. He's going to get a token. But what else is Alan going to do? Is it going to be a pass back? And it is going to be a pass back. That's not necessarily what we want here. But Cameron is able to develop his board real early. But let's see what it is.
2-drop would have been so strong.
Yeah, but he can still search for a 2-drop. Oh, for Alan. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
2-drop for Alan would definitely be devastating here.
Because then you start your 2, 4, 6, 8 one turn earlier.
Yeah, but the one thing is, even though it doesn't look like the most aggressive draw, Alan could also still have this double point start if he has a Jin Zhao in his hand.
Tap Zen. Tap make a guy play Zen. That's really strong as well.
But let's see where Alan gets to go here. He gets to start off with 5, gets to untap everything. We see the Jin Zhao in his hand, so we do know that this double point turn is going to happen. And if you don't know what Jin Zhao does, Jin Zhao is a new unit from Spirit Forge. It's 4 might, and it has tank. And its ability is when there are 2 or more units in base, he gets to come into play ready. So he's a pseudo-accelerated unit. One of my favorite cards in this Viktor deck because you get to have the start of turn 1 token, turn 2 token plus Jin. It comes in accelerated, and you're able to get this double point lead immediately here. And more importantly, it is a 4 might unit. So it is really hard for this traveling merchant to go ahead and push it off. So then Alan just has to worry about scoring for on the other battlefield here. But is hiding a card here. Honestly, if Alan hides something like a Wages of Pain, that would be one of my favorite things for him to do here.
That just throws people off.
Yeah.
No one hides a wage like that.
Oh, I think hiding Wages is one of the best plays because oftentimes they think that it's going to be a Hidden Blade to draw 2, but a Wages here would be insane. Discarding Seals, ooh, that is an interesting one, but let's see here. Is it going to be a Hidden Blade? Is it going to be... It is going to be a Hidden Blade on his own creature, being able to draw 2 here. I'm not going to lie here. I'm not a huge fan. Even though I said I love Hidden Blading my own creatures, I'm not a huge fan of that this turn because oftentimes in the Viktor deck, I'm trying to not deramp as much as possible. But Cameron is able to play one of the scariest cards. It is a Ferris Forerunner here, being able to develop, but more importantly, have 2 mana untapped. So something like a Hard Bargain is a huge, huge threat here for Alan. Alan able to hold with this Jin Zhao. So it's very important here. So we're putting Cameron to the test here. Is he going to pay the 2 mana for the Hard Bargain? Honestly, if I was him, I'm doing it all day, every day. But choosing not to, maybe he doesn't have it.
Oh, we have 2 mana up.
So we can have something like a Fight or Flight or something like that. Yeah. But even if he hard bargains, right?
I think he pays for it and then moves it back.
Yeah, then it's like a time walk, you know what I mean? Where it's like he used up all his mana. And then the thing is, Cameron for sure is winning on board because he has the Ferris Forerunner. So even though it doesn't auto-negate the thing, I do like having the ability of tapping Alan out.
True, because then he can't make that other recruit in the back, which is also nice.
All right, we are at an important juncture here for and last game Alan couldn't defeat double Forerunner. Can he do it this game? And this is the important juncture right now. Is if Alan can get to 6 points here, then we're not necessarily on easy street, but that is the first goal of this Viktor deck, is to get to 6 points.
Even if we Singularity, which seems really nice because you're moving it, it's like he has a bunch of tokens in the back, which is so bad. We do have Watcher in hand, so we could.
Honestly, his hand does look like it is equipped to fight off most of this stuff here.
Forerunner's so hard to deal with, though. That's like the reason to play the
Play
mid
red
range.
decks.
Yeah, mid range red. Forerunner's so crazy. Does Cameron run Kaisa? I haven't seen him play Kaisa. Maybe he just didn't try it.
He's playing more of a Miracle version, so I don't think he is playing Kaisa. Because I do know that non-Miracle decks do side the Forerunner, but then they don't often commit to the whole bit and side in stuff like Kaisa and other things like that.
Yeah.
So here's the real question. What is Alan going to do here? Double Ferris Forerunner is so obnoxious. Going to 5, making a token here. Cameron going up to 3. The beauty of it here is Cameron doesn't really need to think about creatures anymore because honestly, this Ferris Forerunner is just it's literally going to be his game plan for the rest of this game here. So Alan is really thinking about securing this hold with a Hidden Blade. The thing about this Hidden Blade though is it even though it does get the point tempo of scoring 6, Cameron might have Bushwhack, and Bushwhack is one of the scariest cards to deal with for this Viktor deck because normally you can kind of stem off the bleeding of just killing units every turn, but this immediate rush of just too much might sometimes is too scary for this Viktor deck.
A cheeky thing that I saw someone do is they hit a Bushwhack at a battlefield, and then they put their Forerunner in the other one like a turn later, and when the Forerunner died, they activated the Bushwhack before the tokens hit the ground.
Ooh, and we see a Morbid Return here for Cameron in his hand here.
Oh my gosh, another Forerunner. You have to deal with 3 Forerunners because he's going to have the Bush. I mean, he's going to have the Morbid Return to grab it.
No, but honestly, I like this. Cameron knows that the one Forerunner already by itself is just going to be applying too much pressure. Allen honestly is looking for the tempo win now. He's already conceded the fact that he's probably not going to grind out Cameron because these two Ferris Forerunners are just too powerful. But honestly, ooh, fight or flight, pushing it back. And that is one of the worst things that could happen here. Now Allen doesn't have this 6-point total, and 6 is the magic number here. Now Allen can't threaten lethal next turn. Well, he can't threaten lethal the turn after because he needs to get to 6 now.
Wage of Pain would be cool.
Wages of Pain would be a very strong card here.
Wage of Pain, the hopeful, pushing a guy, summon some more stuff in the background.
We see a bunch of good cards against Cameron's strategy.
Pickpocket is such an annoying card.
Yeah, Pickpocket is honestly one of the hard carries of this deck. So strong versus Miracle strategies that often use seals. And there is a lot a lot of different options that Allen has here. Right now, Allen just needs, I keep saying it over and over and over again, Allen needs to get to the 6th point. Once he gets to the 6th point, his deck is unlocked. A lot of cards that aren't as good, like Imperial Decree, become God cards now because we're not looking to trade. We're not looking to truly fight. We're just trying to just blow out Cameron's board for 1 turn and then score 2 points to try to go for the win here. But as Jin Zhao moving up into this Noxus hopeful, looking for a trade.
Jin having 4 might is wild.
Yeah, Jin is honestly one of the best cards in this deck. And it is going to be a stacked deck from Cameron. Let's see what he has. We can see he has a Detonate. I saw a Seal also, but I don't know what that 3rd card is. Most likely got the 3rd card because unless Detonate.
Fight or flight. I like it here. Works on it. He will get the 6th point and get a follow-up recruit because it's going to be given by the Viktor champion unit. Push up 1, get the 6th point. Now we're going to be in the same situation we were in the other 2 games. We need to bunker down for this final turn and play around the Imperial Decree. Just like Ed said a moment ago, Imperial Decree is like a god card in the tempo point from going 6 to 8. It's like one of the best cards in the game.
Yep, that's the beauty of this Viktor deck is, honestly, it has some of the best late game. What is it called? Late game for
He wants to keep
scoring the last
up.
2 points.
Is he not going to tempo out the guy? He's hard looking for. I thought he already had Imperial Decree. I think he should just make a guy.
No, this is now Cameron's turn. Alan didn't make a token. He already
Okay.
untapped and everything.
Okay.
So now Cameron right now is at 5. If he can get to 6 here, then it forces Alan to try to win next turn.
Oh, hard bargaining the Stupefy so that we can get over this recruit here. It is a little unfortunate, but the coolest thing about the Annie deck is you can pick that negate back up for next turn.
Oh yeah, he can still summon Annie to add back the Oh my goodness. Annie, even though it looks like it's little underpowered compared to Draven, it has these little niche scenarios that set up these crazy games.
Having like Rasa, maybe some of the battering rams summoning Annie, getting the negate back. It's really nice. Keeping up the 3 mana so that we could do it, hide some stuff. That's what we got to do.
And this is it. This is Cameron's
He
most.
does have another. He has he has a stacked deck, and he does have a. Oh, he's looking at his grave. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, he has it.
He has everything. But if you look at Cameron's hand, Cameron only has 4 cards in his hand. Normally, it'd be really, really scary, but like there's just a chance where even though he has 4 cards, only maybe 2 have real interaction. But we know Cameron at least has 1 because he can summon back this Annie, add back any of his interaction.
I think he's just opting to summon Annie now.
And Annie to reinforce, yes, I like this. What the real question is, add back. I would like to add back a fight or flight. In all honesty,
Not the hard bargain.
it's one of the 2. But I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Cameron already had a hard bargain in his hand. I'm not 100% sure, but both are amazing cards here, and it is going to be a fight or flight, valuing just a battle trick over anything. But honestly,
but
he does have it.
You're right. He has to, like, this is signaling to your opponent, I have the negate in my hand.
And even if Cameron doesn't have the negate, it basically says he does. Because if Alan puts him to the test and he does have it, then automatically Alan will lose this game.
He does have a Watcher, though, I believe.
Yeah, that's my favorite part. Is sometimes they play around Imperial Decree, but Imperial Decree sometimes Watcher is enough to win the game.
It's like the reverse. If you play around Imperial Decree, you're playing into Watcher sometimes. But then he did pick up the fight or flight.
He did pick up the Fireflight. That is one of the answers to Watcher.
We have a lot of mana open.
So one of the ways that Alan can win besides a double conquer, is just try to fight and win on one side of the battlefield. But I don't know if that is even a foolhardy move.
Yeah, because then you get the 2 guys back with the Forerunner in the back, so he has 9 might to push in.
The issue here is if Alan activates, what is it called? Imperial Decree, that's basically going to be a 9-mana spell. Will he have enough to answer everything
Doesn't even have
else?
that enough. 1, 2.
I think he has enough to exactly cast 9. If he has 10, then it's great because he can still cast Bella's Breath, but I don't think he has a Bella's Breath in his hand here.
I don't think this is even enough because 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have enough units to actually. You don't have enough units even to win the game here. So I think playing this, it's really. Oh, is that the Bell's Breath though? No, it's the Watcher. I think the Watcher is the right play.
Yeah, it plays around the most things, but we do know that.
I think you Watcher try to take out the Yordle with something small like the Viktor champion unit because he'll be at 3 and Viktor be at 4. And then he has to fight or flight something. But then if he doesn't, then you just shove them all in and your opponent cannot like react to that because you already control. And then you leave it like that and maybe you hide a card. No hiddens in hand though. It's really hard. It's a rough situation to be in right now. What else 1 might in there? Oh, the Annie. Oh, because the Watcher, the
Yep.
Watcher. What am I even thinking? Okay. I like this. We're going for the other side because then we don't have to worry about the 2 tokens going back to base. We are wasting more people this way, but he gets 2 mechs in the back anyway. Here, I would take the trade with the Rasa if he lets us go through. Yeah. Nice. Then I think we push in the Viktor. Honestly, if I was Cameron, I might just hold this fight or flight because there's no point in using it now, I think.
Yeah, I feel like using fight or flight on my own monster to threaten the Conquer on the other side.
Maybe pull the Rasa back with the fight or flight. Because that's like the same as pulling the Forerunner down.
Yeah, but then the forward. Yeah. I think that's better, honestly.
Or we could just still just hold it, and then use it on this next turn to push the Watcher away. Because he's only going to have a Watcher and then the Viktor and a single recruit. And then we just push the Watcher back, and hopefully we can deal with the Viktor and the 1 recruit.
And here's the thing. This salvage in Allen's hand was one of the death sentences last game. And now I can see it again just being dead. That's the thing. Salvage is so broken versus these decks. But when they're not giving you the opportunity to give these cards, they're basically just dead cards. It's better to be on the offensive against Draven than to be on the defensive.
This is really scary.
Going to 7. I think this is going to be game point here. Something like a Fizz, something like a... one of the scariest cards to be activating in the final turn. And it's a Rasa here. And a hard bargain and a battering ram. So if there is a Bushwhack in Cameron's hand, he is about to go off here.
Man, Bushwhack is so broken.
Is Allen going to be able to hold this? This is basically the final turn. Both players need to clear off both of these boards, and it is going to be an Ezreal. Ezreal can still draw this Bushwhack. This Bushwhack is the key card right now. Again, he can also have double fight or flight. Discarding that. Hard bargain. But let's see.
Oh,
and I saw the
I
Bushwhack. And that is it. That is the card
gosh.
that Cameron needed to win, just like I said. And he's going to shoot down battering ram plus Rasa to go ahead and slam through all of this.
Then he also has fight or flight just to push it out. Yeah, fight or flight, push out the. Oh, you could have pushed out the. the Watcher. Yeah, that was more of a point swing. Is push out the Watcher, but it literally does not matter at all. It's just a dub.
And that is going to be game. That is 11, 12,
He
12.
really was digging for it.
Yeah.
That was off of the Ezreal.
He saw the way to win, and that's it. Cameron winning with his Miracle Annie deck, showing why the Annie deck is so strong. He had multiple spells being freed up because of the Annie ability, and that final Fight or Flight was such a powerful card, being able to add back off Annie. That was a great game from both players, and that is why we love showing up to locals.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break.
It basically went into time, so it's gonna take only like a couple minutes for the next round.
Like
So
3-4
appreciate
minutes
you guys
maybe.
coming in. If you like what you're watching, watch out.